game's confident and saying, you know what, yeah, we're going to give it our best, we're going to take this one. But in your mind, you have to have that sort of thing. As Immortals, they're a team who've actually managed to win tournaments, like decent level tournaments as well. They've also shown up quite confidently in the American scene. So no, I would say that they're clearly outmatched, but the way that they put up a fairly decent fight in some of the rounds in the last game is confident. Either way, the CT side, they're taking a very aggressive push at the beginning. This is quite a surprising one. They're going to go for the boost in the pistol round. This is a really interesting round coming out from Immortals. Normally we see a retake on the other side, but they're just going to straight out go for the battle. It will leave the flank coming in a little bit late. Surreal's going to get himself too, and we look towards Zeus, but he's not going to achieve anything. Now Phelps, he has to do so much, and Android finishes him off as well. This leaves just Lucas and a nice pistol coming out from Complexity. And I have to say, it looked a little bit overdone by Immortals with the amount of things they were trying to pull off.
Yeah, they were testing. I think the whole point of that round for Immortals was kind of see how much they can get away with, try to do something a little bit crazy. Complexity, rightfully so, they do punish him for it. We're going to see Surreal's nice entries out onto the site, which of course just opened up the whole thing. And it does ultimately mean Complexity, they managed to grab themselves the first round. The pistol round on the T side of Cash, which is very good. It should allow them to convert the next couple as well, potentially start with a 3-round lead, unless Immortals can do something huge here with the anti-eco. They're going to be buying up the pistols and armor in a bit of a force.
Yeah, of course, a pretty safe round coming in at the moment from the T side. They've gone for 3 rifles and a couple of SMGs to boot. Surreal's going to get tagged pretty damn low, and, well, Android isn't exactly the full health at the moment. He's on 48, so there is still potential for these pistols. Henny has been lost in the meantime, but in terms of actual damage, it seems like the CTs have actually done a little bit more. Now, in terms of their setup, it's quite open at the moment. There isn't really too much presence toward middle at all, which gives a lot of map control, but Bolts, hey, he'll peek back into Highway and take that kill straight back again. The advantage lost to Complexity, other than the fact that they definitely have the superior weaponry.
Yeah, but as Lucas falls in mid, they manage to take it back, and now we are seeing Ape try to exert some pressure out towards Squeaky. Phelps and Bolps, the players here to try and hold this one back on the A site. Uber just walks up Highway, finds himself a frag on the back of it. Phelps, who was aggressively pushed up towards A main, nearly dealt with by Surreal, but actually managed to escape with his life. He's going to find himself in a 1 versus 3. His position is known, and Surreal's just going to fall on back. Doesn't want to give him the satisfaction of the frag, leaving Android to pick it up. Complexity, they managed to take the second round on the board out from underneath the Immortals there, and that was a nice round from them. I feel like they did lose a few players early on, which is very questionable. It wasn't a very good kind of start from them, but they do come back from it. There was a stage where it looked like Immortals could potentially kind of steal the anti-eco there. So, you know, to be able to remedy that and come out on top is going to be good for the confidence and Complexity, and does bode well for them as we continue into this now, because Immortals are going to be down to those 5 vanilla pistols, just a bunch of oosps across the board. Going to be seeing what they can make happen with them.
It hurts every time you say that. Every time it hurts, but I'm gonna just move on. Android, he has himself one of the SMGs, so of course he's going to be the man to just look to clear things out. The flash will come in, and he's going to get that first kill onto Henny. Now he does have to be a little bit careful, because there is still a player in Z who can look to try and catch somebody out, but doesn't look like he's going to peek until after the site has actually been lost. The bomb actually still all the way back, so they're not going to be able to plant it just yet, and Lucas will at least get an extra $300 with that kill. Still tapping away, Def missing a few shots, and should just look to try and finish this one off. Nade will dunk in as Ape kills one more, and while completely surrounded Bolts, it doesn't look too good for him. If he could even take one more, that would have been nice, but Uber will find a second with the nade, so 3-0. The rounds are counted up, and, well, Henny, he's straight on that glass cannon orb, just going to try and use that to the best of his ability. Of course, we know that he did pretty well towards the end of that last game, so definitely feel like he is the right man for the job. But Phelps as well, if they can pick up that secondary orb, I wouldn't be doubting him by any stretch.
Yep, into this round though, Complexity opting to stick with the 5 rifles. They have enough money on Uber to buy the orb, but I suppose they didn't lose enough people to warrant picking that one up. I'll be seeing them heading in towards this B site, stacking all their eggs into one basket. And while Immortals, they should be good for the information here. I mean, Smoke's out towards A, but if Phelps or Bolts on the A site goes aggressive, or Lucas in mid, they're going to get a lot of information. But sadly, it's not going to be the case. Lucas over in towards Vents is going to be here trying to help out Zeus, but Zeus doesn't need help. Going to pick up 2 frags, going to pick up a third. Is finally going to get taken down by Uber, who gets 2 of his own. But Henny coming in, finds Surreal. Now it's Uber 1 versus 3. He's got a lot left to do for his team. And, well, he's trying to make his way up towards the site. 1:15 left on the clock, so plenty of time to play around with. Is not going to get spotted out just yet. Doesn't opt to go for the bomb plant. Tries to potentially pick up a frag, but the pop flash going to go in. Allows the push to come out from Immortals, and Bolt's going to be going aggressive, but it's Phelps to find the frag. Takes down Uber. and cements the first round on the board for Immortals. The hold there from Zeus, buying more than enough time and allowing more than enough frags for Immortals to rotate on through.
Yeah, I was about to say, he may have bought time, but he also gets a triple spray, so that's going to help him out, definitely. Only one clip needed, and he will hold down that site wonderfully. And, well, not going to be the best start, but of course, there was plenty of money, actually, on the Complexity side, so they will get themselves another buyback on the board. They're going to come back into this just as strong, and while the boost is being attempted again, it seems like Def actually has the idea that this is going on, so Volts may have to be a little bit careful here because they are just spraying in his general direction.
I mean, he's up on top of there. It's looking like they heard him out. You can see that Def is going for the spray again and again. He really wants to line this frag up. But I mean, I got to give it to Bolt. He's very committed to this angle now that he's up there, not giving it up. And despite the fact that it's looking like they heard him, if he just stays up there, then they might, you know, kind of double bluff themselves into the belief that he's gone and hopped down, or maybe the fact that they haven't found a frag is enough to presume that it is going to be empty. So
you'd hope not.
Phelps over towards the forklift area is going to be the one trying to hold this down, trying to bait out the enemies for Bolts to pick it up. That Molotov's going to push back. Ape does a little bit of damage as well, and as a result, we're already seeing Complexity start to rotate off of this A site. They lose the immediate advantage in towards Squeaky. They can't find a frag on the back of it, and they're pretty damn sure that Bolts is boosted up. So instead, they're going to do a boost of their own over in towards mid and try and grab control of that, while Henny, well, he's not actually there right now. He's vacated and has made his way up towards the A site.
Yeah, well, one of the best ways to actually counter that play on boost is to go up highway, but doesn't seem like that's going to be a possibility. They're going to go back towards the B site, split through vents, and, well, it's going to be down to Zeus and mainly Lucas. He's the one on the site. Zeus should be smoked out. They do still have a couple left to be thrown, although taking their time actually throwing them. Android very quick to find the kill, and in fact, they will smoke him off not once, but twice. And another kill has come in the meantime. Henny trying to hold the cross, and if he'd hit that shot, the bomb would have been dropped with seconds to go. But he does not, giving a good opportunity now to Complexity. Now, their after-plant positions are not the best. They haven't been able to get back out of the site particularly well, but there's 5 players in a crossfire. You have to hope that they're going to get this back. And while with no utility onto that CT side, even the peek from Zeus was a little bit overzealous for my liking. I feel like the fallback was the only opportunity. And, well, nice work from Ape and Android to close out Henny.
Yeah, and I mean, they are hungry to pick up this last frag on a Bolts. They have a fairly good idea as to where he is because they heard him fall back along with Henny. And while he's over in CT, does find one out of Def, looks for the second, finds one on no Android, but Ape there to trade things back. It's a 2-for-1 trade at the end, but ultimately the round's going to go the way of Complexity, and they have more than enough money to be kind of playing around with. Plus, any frag they can pick up just guarantees the eco into this round for Immortals being the most important thing, as it should allow Complexity to pick up a 5th round on the board.
Yeah, almost identical to the sort of play that came in the last map as well. I think it was a little bit earlier because Immortals actually got 2 bomb plants and got an early buy, so a little bit different, and the sides have been changed, but Complexity will get that 4-1 start. Now, of course, the way that it then went was that Immortals win themselves a buy that they shouldn't, so, well, this is that buy. They forced into it. They know the loss bonus isn't going to be there after only 1 round being won, and their loss bonus going all the way back to 0. So really saving into the next round will only give them an extra 1900. So they've decided to go for it now and save into the next if they are to lose. So Def, he will be boosted up, and they've just got to use their utility wisely to clear all of the angles. Of course, Zeus, I like this angle. This is an angle I actually quite like to hold myself. You jump up and just hold it very, very close. It means that anybody who goes through mid may not even spot you, and it basically holds you towards this player on boost. So there is the potential in this position to actually catch one out. I wonder if Def will actually check. He will, so he has the read. Goes down to 5 HP and will actually be lost in the meantime, but it's trades, and, well, so far the trades are working nicely.
Yeah, Android mid with a nice bit of pre-fire onto Henny. Does take him down as well. It's all on Lucas in towards this B site. Complexity don't have a lot of information to go off, so potentially still left to see some combat yet. But as they make their way towards A, it's fast looking like the rotate's going to have to be called in, and you can already see Lucas very preemptively making his way in towards the A site. It's going to be in a great situation to try and pick up a couple of frags here and there. That smoke actually to the dismay of Complexity as it allows him to get a little bit closer with that 5-7. That's going to get him 1 frag out on an Android. Potentially a second on the Surreal. He does get tagged down low, but Uber's there to save his life. Does take down Lucas and converts another round on the board for Complexity. It's going to go 1-5 as they actually start off in a fairly strong fashion.
Yeah, they've got a great start onto their T side, so definitely no problems there. They will get the chance now to build up a little bit of money because in the last they lost 3 players and the cash isn't exactly doing too well at the moment. But the CT side, they will still get a couple of P250s on the board. The headshot potential is there, and in terms of their peaks, they are going to spot out a player over towards the A main position. So far, not really gaining too much as of yet. Def is going to take a hell of a lot of map control with his position over towards mid, and, well, it should be a fairly comfortable round win at the moment for the T side, but they want to get it clean. That's the big factor. They want to get as much money as they can, so if they inevitably do lose a round up against this Immortals side, they're ready and raring to go. Either way, close range position. Surreal, ooh, hits the no-scope, so Phelps doesn't manage to get too much done. A lot of players actually getting tagged down, and Bolts is going to get one in the end. Def quickly trading out a couple, and, well, Uber should be able to clean this up, and yeah, they only lose one player, taking a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter. Their economy will still grow.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got 7,400 up on Surreal, who doesn't need to rebuy a thing into this round. And, well, across the board for the other players, around about $4,000, $2,000 on Android. But, you know, a fairly substantial amount of money in the coffers for Complexity. Immortals, on the other hand, finally able to buy up, investing everything they've got into this round. Going to be able to get a little bit of utility out of it. Rifles across the board as well. No AWP up on Henny, though. And that's going to significantly reduce the effectiveness of having him here in mid. You can already see now he's rotated in towards the highway position for the faster rotate between A and mid. So he can kind of, you know, float around between the two. An aggressive play in towards A main as Phelps is trying to find something early on. But Surreal peeking it with the AWP is enough to force him out of that position. And right now, Complexity looking to be taking things fairly slowly. Not wanting to try and go too aggressive early on. And I believe they actually have Uber all the way back in T-spawn, just waiting for the aggression in towards B.
Yeah, we do have this AWP of Surreal. It is going to be looking now, in terms of the CT side, they haven't actually expended much of their utility just yet. They still have 3 smokes to throw, so they can buy quite a bit of time, and that was really all they bought up. They didn't actually buy too much in terms of utility. They couldn't afford to. In terms of how this is going so far, well, it just changed a little bit. I was about to say they could get pushed at any moment, but Phelps quickly goes aggressive, and that's going to ruin the round now for the T side. They've already lost 2 players. They haven't gained too much. They have some mid control, but they haven't actually taken anyone down, and pushing into the site on B, well, really, Uber has to just go absolutely ham. There's 2 players. He's able to get very, very close, but is he going to check? No, he's not. Bolts is able to peek out. There's Lucas as well, and, well, going from a clean round, or relatively clean round for Complexity, is looking pretty damn clean as well for Immortals.
Yeah, only losing Zeus there as they make their way in towards the site. That was a horrible sentence to have to say. But yeah, it's going to go 2-6 as Immortals, they pick up their second on the board. Hopefully not going to be the last of many as they continue on into this. They're going to get the AWP up on Henny as well. And this could be a major turning point here for the CT side as he's proven to be so destructive with that AWP. He could completely shut down any sort of mid play if that is what Complexity have been going for. And I mean, you know, they have fairly routinely been sending the odd 1 or 2 out towards mid. As we have found, Phelps going to be going aggressive early on in towards A main yet again. Is going to be taken down and punished for it as a result. It's going to help open up this A site. Flashes go out. Bolts is going to fall. Now it's going to go the way of Complexity out on towards A. They storm on through. Going to be getting that bomb down. And Android, he's still hungry for kills. Still has much more left to get as well. Henny on highway. Looking like he could potentially get spotted out. And, not able to find anything of his own just yet. Uber going to be watching the flank in towards mid. Not going to find anything as the rest of the Immortals players make their way up truck and highway.
Well, yeah, if they manage to win this round, this will be absolutely wonderful for the side of Complexity. They'll be able to reset that economy straight back once again. Uber, well, he's going to push through from the flank and catch one more of those players. It's the CTs now just trying to survive. They're completely surrounded, and Def will finish off both. Complexity get their 7th round on the T side, and there goes the money for Immortals. The likelihood is they may have to go for something in this one, but I'm actually wondering if they'll have to take a pause, because they are getting slaughtered at this point. It's not even looking like a close game whatsoever. They've had 2 singular rounds which have gone their way. Other than that, it's been all Complexity.
Yeah, no, they've been performing very well. Uber is going to be relegated down to the Galil, but that's the only real economic hit they've suffered in recent times. Immortals trying to change things up. They send 3 players aggressively in mid early on in the form of Zeus, Phelps, and Henny. They go for the counter boost, but Uber is ready and waiting. Takes down Phelps, and no one there to trade things out. For the side of Immortals, the man advantage is going to be going the way of Complexity very early on. Surreal once again over towards that B site, just ready and waiting for any sort of aggression to lock it down and keep them relegated back as far as they can and as passively as they can to prevent the information being passed on to the rest of the team.
Yeah, there's still 2 players on the site. Bolts will be peeking out, and Def, he's missing a lot of shots at the moment. May actually lose his life for that very reason, but Uber is there to support. Peek from 8 should give them a good avenue of attack, and well, we will see 1 player dropped, but it seems like that's really all they're gonna get. Def still peeking out, still feeling confident even with 20 HP. And that's gonna be an 8th round. They've won the half already, and we're only on to the 11th.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, to quote what Dust said, for the win conditions of complexity, you need to have, well, I mean, I believe it was Henny's mouse breaking, or what, Phelps' internet going out. Well, I've just checked. We haven't had a timeout for technical issues, so I'm presuming both of them are still in check. And right now, complexity, they're looking very strong. Does it mean they're going to win? No, but I mean, they have been able to find themselves a very good first half already on the T side here in Cash. Surreal trying to line something up in towards A. Nearly finds a shot through the smoke. He retakes it again. Might be able to take down Phelps, but sadly going to be missing that. Bolts is going to get boosted up on that A site as a result. This position hasn't really been working for the side of Immortals, so interesting to see them keep dedicating themselves to it. And right now, complexity spreading out once again across the map, grabbing control of all the key areas, trying to find an aggressive member of Immortals, take them down, and then play off that pick. This time, though, Immortals aren't going to give them the early man advantage.
Yeah, this is a spot that becomes, well, once it's predictable, it can actually be quite a detriment to your team. It really isn't. It's sort of a one and done. It's one of those spots where, unless you're consistently catching people out, you don't keep using it. So Bolts, yeah, he's going to have the opportunity again. It looks like they are going to come in his direction, but at the same time, this is still a big point to make. Now, they've thrown all the smokes in. They haven't actually made a play forward. This could be a fake back towards that B side. And you look at the sort of boosters come in, it is. They're just going to make their way all the way back towards B, but the bait has not been taken. There's still 2 players on the site. Zeus, he's played the same corner every single time. Lucas, well, he's going to be the one to get caught. The push from Android, he gets all the way past both players. Zeus in the corner again, and Android has done exactly what's needed of him. Henny, he steps up with the AWP, but it's only 2 to be found as Android has got 3 to his name. And now you look towards the position of Uber, goes aggressive, but Bolts is there to catch him out. Now it's on to Android on the ace, and well, it's not going to be happening, I don't think. 2 HP in a dream, and Phelps will finish this one off.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 to 8 now as Immortals, they pick up a much-needed 3rd round. As we enter round number 12, the economy of complexity is going to more than fund the buyout into this round. Uber might be in a little bit of danger, potentially, of being on a less than ideal buy if Ape does opt to... Oh, no, there you go. Ape's going to be taking the tech like a champ. Buying up the utility for his team as Immortals. They're going to have a nice buy on the cards too. Double op setup finally coming into play. Phelps gets his, Henny gets 1 as well. This could be their chance at kind of turning this whole thing around.
Yeah, it really could be, or it could be the chance for complexity to win this even more dominantly. That's the sort of way to look at it. This is a crunch time round for both teams at the moment. Immortals, are they going to be just a one and done sort of side where they get around and then lose the next, or are they finally going to be able to string some together? Well, early damage will come in onto the T side. They're going to go pushing through the smoke, and it's Lucas again. When times get tough, it seems like Lucas gets going, and he is going to find a second, but it is just trades, and the man who's trading always seems to be Android. A 3rd kill again. This guy is on fire at the moment, leaving just 2 to fight this back. However, the HP is firmly in the favor of this CT side. They have a kit onto Henny, and they even have a Molotov onto Bolts.
Yeah, they are going to be heading into this with a good bit of utility. The HP advantage and the utility advantage. And well, Android's going to go down. Ape can't trade it out. Bolt finds the 2nd frag and is able to rescue that round for the side of Immortals. It's going to go 4 to 8 as they start to turn this around right when they needed to the most. Potential for them still to make it way back into this in such a huge way. I mean, it can go 7-8 from this point on in. They've only got 3 more left to get.
Android has 21 kills.
Yeah, no, Android's going off insane right now. I mean, what, we're in round number 13. He's already on 21 frags. We've seen some pretty heavy fraggers recently. He's
got 29 to beat. He's got 29 to beat.
Yeah, no, he's close to it.
Yeah, no, that's 2 rounds in a row now that he's walked in, got triple kills, and they've still lost. So needing a couple of other teammates to come up with him this round. They are just looking to go for a smoke setup. Now, they've already thrown in a fake, so I don't want to say that they're definitely dedicated, but there's no lurker, so it does seem that way. Obviously going to try and get as close as they can, smoking off both sides and then running in with the pistols. And, well, they've left a gap in the smoke, and Bolts is going to exploit it!
Oh,
so much damage!
No, there
4
we go.
kills for him, and leaves Phelps to pick up the remaining. So, finally, Immortals, they've strung a few together. They have a little bit of money to spare, and they can continue their buy.
I don't know what that was. Look, when we look at it, they're all trying to kill him. They're all shooting at him. Somehow they're all just missing. That was a solid There was a solid second and a half of all 4 or 5 players kind of railing into him. And he lived it. I don't know what that was about. I guess he really is, as the name suggests, Immortal. But we're going to be heading into the 14th round. Plenty up on the side of Immortals, as you would expect. Lots of utility and an AWP up on Henny. On the side of Complexity, just rifles. But Uber playing this passive position in T-spawn finally pays off. Finds one on the Phelps, who tried to go aggressive early on. As a result, Zeus has had to fall on back. Still in an aggressive angle. Still getting lots of information. But is going to be alone and isolated from the rest of his team.
This could be a decent opportunity once again. Of course, the last round did go close, and well, if we look towards the economy of the CT side, we can see that they will be suffering a little bit in terms of what they have. It's actually down to the sort of 2K mark, so a loss bonus here would sort of field a bit of a buy, but not anything too crazy. Now, in terms of the T side, of course, now they've got that man advantage. This is a good opportunity for them to go for that reset. They're going to go pushing back towards the B side. Now Zeus has actually taken an aggressive angle, and he's going to get nothing done. Once again, falling for his team. And, well, along are the moments where he's getting that triple kill on the site. It's down to Bolts to try and fall back in. He's the only one anywhere near the action. And I wonder if they have to decide whether this is worth going for. Nice dunk. Will actually slow the plant and Molotov it off. So he's given an opportunity for the CT side in this round. But already Def is going to find another in the meantime, leaving Henny alone. And, well, I still think he should be trying to save.
Yeah, does find one on Def in mid, but he's still got 3 more members of Complexity left to try and deal with. No utility. Does have a kit, a 5-7 and an AWP to try and play around with as he makes his way in through CT spawn. If he can find a frag soon, then I can totally see him trying to go for this one. As he makes his way out onto the site, going to be trying to glance over towards where Uber is, but of course playing on the side of Checkers as he goes for the peek. It's going to be very poor timing for Henny as the trade does come out. Complexity, they pick up a 9th round on the board, and now they're 1 round away from finishing this actually in double digits.
Yeah, double up setup will come in. I just want to look towards the utility of this CT side. I wonder if somebody will actually skimp down, because you look at the sort of nades that are coming in. There we go. It will be Lucas to go for a UMP, and then you can see a bit of utility at least with the 1 Molotov, but it's still a very good half already for Complexity. It's going to have to be a great T side coming out from Immortals to try and bring this one back, and I'm thoroughly impressed with how they played so far in this one, especially from Android, but at the same time, in that round at least, we saw a few other players step up. Well, double AWPs seemingly starting things off. Interestingly, neither of them are on Henny.
Yeah, neither of the 2 AWPs, because he is famous for dual wielding. We are going to be seeing, though, a 2-man advantage for the side of Immortals. And he's going to get tagged down low in towards Highway. But Bolts is there to pick up the slack. Does take down 8. Finds a second through the smoke on a Def as well. That's bomb dropped. And a 4-man advantage going the way of Immortals. It's all on Android, 1 versus 5. If there's anyone you'd want in this situation, it's going to be him, as he can find the frags, but he can't dodge the bullets. He's going to go down as Phelps takes him off the face of the planet and secures a 6th round on the board for the CT side.
It was a really odd sort of half, because the rounds that Immortals were winning were actually really clean a lot of the time. So the fact that they then lose the half, it just almost suggests that both teams will sort of go, okay, we lost the round, let's go back even harder. And it was just so weird that every time you go, okay, they've just won a round with all 5 players surviving, the next one, they lose. And you think, well, how has stuff drastically changed that much in just 1 round? It seems like they are not on point at the moment on this side, but at least they go on to the T side with 6. It could have been much, much worse the way things started out.
Yeah, no, definitely so. They are going to be in a relatively all-right kind of place for this one, in particular if they can pick up the pistol. We're seeing right now, while 4 members of Immortals in towards Squeaky, going to be going aggressive out. Late play coming in from Zeus, but it's Uber actually to make things work. Takes down 2, looks for a 3rd. He finds 1 on a Lucas. He's got 3. Bolt's trying to deny it. Does take him down sooner rather than later, but it's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Complexity. And now the bomb is going to be making its way down soon as Zeus makes his way to the site late. That bomb plant still being disallowed actually from the side of Complexity. Bolt hasn't had time to get it down. He's been harassed, and while Complexity show no sign of letting up just yet. As a result, it's going to have to be delayed for a little bit. Zeus finally on site now to try and help out. It's going to be up on top of the rafters, trying to spot out a frag on towards Ape, who is over towards that truck area. But I mean, still it's a 3-on-2 for the retake advantage, leading the way. Complexity, they try pushing into the site. They've done good damage out on a Bolt, and now they're making their way in.
Yeah, it's all going to be down to Zeus really here. If he can get the first. No, he misses the shots. They don't know he's there. Now Bolts is all that's left, but he hits 2. This leaves it down to the 1 versus 1. Bolts looking for the 4K. Ape looking to get onto the board. He's going to throw out the flashbang. It's not going to have any effect on Bolts, and maybe, just maybe, he can finish this off. And, well, a 1 versus 3, easy peasy for Bolts.
Yeah, he took what Uber did and then took it to the next level. Finds himself 4 frags into that one and secures the round on the board for Immortals. It's going to go 7-9. It was looking so promising. They just could not account for Bolt coming up huge.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous. Just with the USP or the USP, if you want to be wrong. And Bolt's just, how can you make that look so easy? It even without slow-mo, it just looked like he was so calm just peeking into that one. So I don't know how he manages it. That was just impeccable. And he saved his team what could have been a nasty start to this one. Of course, going in, you've got the 4 or 5 rifles, I suppose, 4 Galils at least. Not too much utility, so maybe there is an opportunity. But the CT side, they haven't actually fully invested into this one. They're saving some of their money. They want to get extra nades on the board. The smoke will come in at least, so they will have the site cautioned off. But there's 3 players, a 4th rotating in, and quite a lot of presence at the moment. And with no SMG player who can just run in, it is a little bit risky. Luckily, they do have Bolts and Zeus.
Yeah, they find the first 2 frags. Ape is still going to be alive on the site, but not for long. He gets taken down. It's Uber to come in from CT to find the first frag. Trying to rotate on a bit of a sneaky play. Henny finds one on a def, and now it is all Uber. 1 versus 4. They know where he is. And, well, Lucas going to be playing close to the corner, only on 19 HP, so something could definitely come out of this. Zeus as well, just trying to watch the headshot angle, and if Uber gets the tiniest bit curious, he's going to be walking into a crossfire here, but it's Zeus to go aggressive. It's going to get taken down, nearly finds a second on the Lucas as well, but ultimately Lucas is going to come up trumps as he takes him down. It's going to go 8-9 as Immortals get their 8th round on the board. Now, Complexity, they did, like you say, not invest too heavily into that previous round. They're going to be able to invest a little bit into this one, but ultimately they're going for the maximum economic benefit into round number 19.
Yeah, they want to get as much as they can going into their CT side. Of course, Immortals will be able to bring this back to an even position, and we know that they have the ability to take this on the T side. Of course, there is a little part of me that's hoping that Complexity can keep up the fight. They've done so well so far. A lot of it has been Android, but I think other players are stepping up as well. Uber's had a good game as well, and in terms of the rest of the team, well, if they can have a decent showing on the CT side, maybe they can take this one. But in this round, at least, it's not looking too good. The bomb is currently still in a position they can get towards. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that they know too much about it, although you never know. Uber is actually going in that direction. I feel like the timing is just gone.
Yeah, Android's going to get tagged down, has players coming in from all angles, and as a result, he will fall. Lucas finds the frag. And, well, now it's all on Uber. He's going to get dropped as well. Bolts, a bit of a lurk, picks that one up and equalizes out the scoreboard to 9-9. As Immortals, they're trying to come back into this in a big way in the second half. The first real chance, however, now for Complexity to start to try and make things work as their buy comes into fruition. You've got the AWP up on Surreal as well. So this is really where they have to try and erect the wall early on to slow down the growing problem that is Immortals.
Yeah, of course, no head armor, so there's not going to really be too much of a problem when it comes to the Galil. And while aggressive push, a bloodbath coming in for this fight at the moment, and the T's are definitely coming out on top, leaving just Uber left to try and fight this back. He manages to clasp a frag back onto 1, but there are 3 more players and they have full control of the B site.
Yeah, and well, Uber's got to try and come up huge, as he has done in a lot of these rounds, you know. He's been left in a position now 1 versus 3. Not that it really makes a difference, because when we do look at the scoreboard, we can see it's basically a 3-on-5 from the outside. Anyway, Surreal and Abe only on 5 frags each. If you add up them 2, they don't even have as much as Def, who's in 3rd place right now with 11 frags. So it's really not looking good for the side of Complexity. Uber trying to make his way out of there is going to be looking to hold on to the AK into round number 20. Of course, him and Android both on 21 frags apiece, so they're going to be in a very good state. But that has really been the issue right now. We're seeing the Android and Uber show. We're not really seeing Complexity.
On the T side, you can get away with that a little bit, but you have to remember some of the rounds that have come in have been Android just getting 3Ks and trading everything back and them still losing rounds. So they could be even further in front at this point. I suppose they're not even in front anymore now that Immortals have just won that round. But the thing you have to look towards really is Surreal. Well, we're on the CT side now. He's going to be picking up that AWP at some point. If he can step up, then there's still a chance for them to continue on.
Yeah, but I mean, since switching onto the CT side, Surreal hasn't picked up a single frag yet, so we'll be sure to celebrate for him once he does. And, well, Bolt is going to be the one finding the first frag, takes down Android in towards B and opens up the site. You can already see they have to rotate in Surreal to try and make up for it. Uber in mid, trying to shut down a few players so they push out, but Henny is there to trade things back. Def in from Highway. The Deagle, hoping to try and put the hurt on Phelps. Does tag him down low, but he's got to worry about Henny, who's coming in from the who does find good damage, takes him down. And now it's on Surreal, the newfound pacifist of Complexity, currently trying to shy away from the violence as he leaves that B site, starts making his way in through CT spawn. That bomb still in a very neutral position here, could go to either site, and with a minute left on the clock and a 2-man advantage, Immortals aren't exactly up against it. Oh, and a pacifist to kill. Yeah,
Surreal will be trying to prove wrong some of the haters, clearly in the form of Harry. And, well, he's not going to. Doesn't manage it in this round, at least. Of course, we are going to see a buyback up, and he should be able to get an AWP in hand as well. So, at least that avenue of play will be there at the moment. Of course, they could go for a second, and they actually will. So, it's going to be Android picking up the second AWP. So, he's on 21 frags. So, we'll see whether or not he can have the impact that is missing at the moment from this CT side. Of course, 11-9 Immortals have got back from what was an 8-2 scoreline at one point. So really on that comeback hype, and well, they've already taken quite a bit of mid control. Going to go towards vents as well, where there is a little bit of a position being held, and Android's going to miss the shot, not going to enable them to get the first frag in this one.
Yeah, Henny going to be spotting out mid for Immortals, does lock it down. The Molotovs making their way on through, and that's going to reveal that mid is given to the side of Immortals completely for free, as Complexity look to try and leave that one. Don't want to sacrifice players there early on, and instead it is going to be going the way of the T side. As a result, they're going to be setting up to split out on towards B, potentially. They have control of mid, they have control of vents, and they also have Bolts and Zeus in towards that B site. As Zeus falls back in towards mid, though, it's looking like this really could go either way. I think right now they're trying to find some sort of opening frag in towards A. You have got the AWP up on Surreal, just, you know, cautionarily looking down in towards mid. I suppose someone should. Smoke's going to go down there to block off his vision. And now this is where there's going to be real problems created. Immortals looking like they're going to be trying to wrap in through Z into CT as well. Surreal finally breaks the curse, finds one under Phelps. Hopefully this is going to be the turning point for him as he picks up his first frag in the second half. Now hoping to try and get more. Got that taste for blood, and he's hungry for more of it.
Yeah, it is going to be the push coming in, and the secondary AWP onto Android manages to grab another. It will be a quick trade as Bolt pushes in, but there's still 2 players on the site. 25 seconds to clear them out. And while so far it is going fairly well, Uber peeks out, however, and manages to bring it down to just one. Nice shot from Lucas to finish off Def, and it is Surreal to take the round, and he will get his second kill overall. Not with the AWP, but he still does it with the USP.
I'm incredibly happy. Complexity's chances did look far worse when he signed the Sacred Vows of Pacifism, but now that he's actually back and fragging, finds 2 frags into that round to net a 10th on the board for Complexity. Of course, if he starts to get back into the form that we've seen him in recently, they stand a good chance of stringing a few more rounds on the board. He's going to be AWPing for the side of Complexity now as we head into round number 22. An AWP up on Henny, 4 rifles for the side of Immortals, and once again, trying to exert some pressure in towards B and mid straight off the bat.
They did lose their secondary AWP, though, on the CT side, so there's no more Android AWP in play. They will actually rotate Surreal over towards the B site, so taking a different avenue of AWPing this time around, but there's going to be this push coming in, and I'm not sure how Phelps hasn't seen either of them. Eventually he will, but he's lost in the meantime, and, well, they've actually lost another player as well. It's going to be a quick couple of kills. Zeus through the smoke will be able to trade it back to only a 4 versus 3, but still the advantage sitting with the Complexity side at the moment, and, well, although Def does have himself a UMP, everybody else is pretty much set for this round to continue.
Yeah, Immortals trying to regroup and then revamp this strategy, heading back through T-Spawn, now making their way towards mid, rendezvousing with their teammate in the form of Henny, who has been waiting here, scouting out this position for quite some time. It's going to be Uber and Def to have to hold down this site. And, well, I can't think of anyone better to do just that than Uber. He's going to go over here towards Quad. Molotov's going to miss its mark. Finds that first frag. Looking for a second. He does good damage out into Bolts. Bolts does take down Def in the process, but Android rotating in from mid shuts him down. The trade's going the way of Complexity, but saying that, Zeus wants to try and throw a spanner in the works. Does take down Android, leaving it all on Uber and Surreal as he makes his way over towards the forklift. Uber, who specializes over towards there, does take him down. It's going to be the 11th round on the board for Complexity as they equalize things out once again.
Yeah, well, now it is still a buy coming back on the board for the T side, but they're struggling a little bit. Lucas going to be onto a dig, and no more AWPs to be played with. Of course, the CT side money isn't anything to really look towards just yet, not really to get too excited about. They're not really winning these rounds convincingly, and, well, even one of those could be what sets Immortals back towards Pistols once more. Of course, 11-11, it can't be much closer than it is now. Will be Phelps to start things off. Android is going to be lost early on. The utility for the CT side isn't anything too crazy at the moment. They don't have the Molotovs in play anymore, and Well, you have to look towards what this T-side are going to do off the back of this opening pick. Phelps with a second, stepping up again as he did in the first map. The flash will come in. They're trying to retake some map control on the CT side, go towards A, find a counter to the beast that is Phelps, and at the moment, all that is really holding towards that B site is that AWP. The rotation, however, will come in, and therefore his push over towards A has been lost, and I wonder, will the T's actually decide to change their mind now? There's nobody on the A site, and I think Henny will soon realize that this is completely clear, and well, there goes the bomb.
Yeah, they're going to be keeping Phelps there to try and exert some pressure. Sadly, anything that gets exerted onto him is a stream of bullets. Uber takes him down, does find one frag at least. It's a bit of a parting gift. Bomb over towards that A site. It's going to be going down any minute now. They also leave on the lurk. Bolts waiting, primed and ready behind. Going to try and shut down any avenue of approach from the side of Complexity. Not going to be able to find anyone, though, as they do look to be trying to just hold down this B site to save on. You know, committed to the end to B. Even though the bomb's down on A, they're saving here. They're making their last stand at their home.
Yeah, they're just going to hold on to the weapons that they have. Of course, in terms of economy, they have a little bit to spare, so they should get a buy into the next round. Running boost comes in, and well, neither players actually hit the shot at the moment. Of course, they did do a running boost with a player with a Deeg, so the potential for him to actually find the kill was off a little bit of luck. In terms of the rifles, they have now picked up another one onto Lucas, so I doubt he'll be doing anything too crazy now that he actually has something worth losing. And although Complexity have come back to a point where they can fight this one at least, they are going to lose another round and give Immortals back the lead.
Yeah, Immortals retaking that one round advantage that they had as we head into round number 24. We're going to be seeing rifles across the board for the side of Immortals. We should be seeing Phelps try and yeah, he does have enough money to get his own one. I don't know why I thought he didn't. But yeah, he's going to pick up the AK. Not that much utility on his back, but still enough. I mean, the team alone have enough to carry him on through Complexity. All they've got to try and work with is the scavenged AWP and AK. They're able to save up from the previous round. They're going to be having to eco on the rest of the squad. Def, with the Deagle in hand, does have a little bit of armor to try and play around with. Ape and Android just relegated onto those pistols. And well, Immortals heading 3 players in towards A aggressively, straight on out. Uber going to be boosted up, finds one. It's going to get taken down by Lucas as the trade comes through. Def, though, still just sitting there. They don't even know that he's there. I mean, how did they think that Uber got into that position?
I'm actually really surprised that we didn't see a buy come out from Complexity here, because going into the next round, they're not going to have anything any better, because they just won a couple and lost one. So to not force this around the AWP and the AK is a bit of a weird thing to do. So a little bit surprised by that. We'll see how it actually affects them in the future rounds, but it does mean they're just going to have to sort of save the AWP again, and I don't think they're going to have a buy in the next round either. Maybe they can force a little bit more, but I'm not expecting to see anything too good coming into the next round. Zeus, well, he's looking to try and take this AWP down, and he will. Surreal's going to peek. It should be able to be retrieved by at least another player, but there's Henny to stop that once more, and Ape, he's going to fight, but he's going to be lost too. Well, let's go and have a look at the economy of the CT side. I think this is where it gets very, very lackluster once again, and this is sort of what I'm talking about. If you have to eco into this round anyway, why are you not buying into the last one? Yeah,
no, it was a fairly odd situation. I do have to agree with you there. A weird economic choice from the side of Complexity. We'll be seeing them able to buy a few nades as a result. I mean, that doesn't really justify foregoing the armor in the previous round. Straight away, mid-Phelps going to get tagged down low as the push comes out away from Complexity. They push through the smoke. Uber finds one, and a Phelps, the trade trying to come through in the form of Lucas as he does find one under Def. Now they're going to be counter-boosting up over mid, potentially. Looking like they were going to do that, but deciding at the death of their colleague, Def, they probably wasn't the best idea. So now it's going to be a 4-on-4. We're still noticing Lucas in mid trying to hold down this angle. The rest of Complexity rotating in towards B with, I believe that's Ape heading in through vents as well to try and lock down this B site. Lucas does find the last thorn in their sides. Android in mid, and Bolts takes down Ape on the back of that nade. Now it's Uber and Surreal in a 2 versus 4.
Yeah, Uber has managed to get an AK, and as I say that, he loses his head, and now they have nothing. Surreal with just a USP, may be able to retrieve the AK and, well, just fall back. I think they get a buy in the next round anyway, so maybe he won't be too worried about losing this rifle, but at the same time, it is still something valuable to play with in the next round. The AK still betters both M4s, unless you really do like being sneaky beaky and not having traces through the smoke. Either way, Surreal, well, to cross back over is going to be difficult now. May just try and hold. The bomb is yet to be planted as they do still look to explore the rest of the map to find this remaining player. And, well, Surreal's not going to be able to take down Zeus. So 14-11 now. The buy will come back up, but this is the last buy that they are going to have if they do not win the round. And they will just be basically working off the loss bonus if it comes to the next.
Yeah, 3 rounds the difference right now between Complexity and Immortals, but it's been a lot closer than anyone would have originally thought. You've got the AWP up on Surreal, a good bit of utility into this round, and 4 rifles for Complexity to try and play around with. Like you say, that they're very reliant on taking this one out from underneath Immortals' feet. If they do, Immortals can buy up comfortably anyway. They've got so much money in the bank account on the Brazilian side that they're going to be in a very good way. Making their way out now in towards this B site. You can see lots of aggression coming out from Immortals straight off the bat. They fire one on the Zeus. Android trying to hide in the site. It's going to get naded down. And as he falls, so does that B site. Surreal able to find one. Does take out Lucas. And that's going to help with the rotate a little bit more. But Bomb is already down and ticking. And Def is going to be Molotov'd out here. But it does spread onto him. And he's going to get shot anyway through the smoke, through a wall. So very unfortunate there. It's a double bit of penetration for him. And well, now it's Surreal and Uber. 2-on-4, trying to get out of that. Trying to get out of this just kill box they found themselves in.
Yeah, they get punished, and Zeus is the one to finish off all the remaining players. Complexity now, they are just fighting with what is the loss bonus. It is quite crazy to look at the fact that Uber and Android are both above 25 frags, and it still hasn't really worked out for them. A great effort from those two players, but it seems at the moment that the Brazilians are brilliant. There you go, I've combined the two words.
That is very creative, Tom. You will definitely get a sticker later. It's all good. And that was disgusting what I just said. But it's going to be Zeus and Bolts. They find 2 frags straight off the back. Apo to try and chime it back in the favor of Complexity. Only able to get 1. Mind Advantage now leading the way of Immortals. Saying that, Ape coming up huge. Finds a second frag on a Lucas. Going to be shutting down the B push. Bolt still committed, really wants revenge for the death of his colleagues as he does tag 8 down to 2 HP in the process, but doesn't find the frag just yet. The 3 remaining members of Immortals still committed to this B-side play. Meanwhile, all 3 members of Complexity here, ready and waiting to hold down the fort.
We'll look towards Ape, and while the 1 rifle is now gone from the CT side, it's only going to be pistols, but maybe they're enough. Only Henny left. Something quickly changed, and that flashbang is absolutely perfect. Surreal doesn't manage to capitalize on it, though. The Molotov will be there to section him off. That was so close to hitting onto Surreal, but he will just get away with the skin of his teeth. And, well, you have to look at Henny at the moment. He's got 45 seconds to play with, doesn't have the bomb. Flash will come out again both times. Those flashbangs that have popped in off the back of Def have been perfect, but they haven't managed to actually capitalize off either of them. Still, they have the heavy advantage at this stage. A rifle picked up for Def. Smoke will go down. Henny looking like he's about to run out of time in this one. 25 seconds left on the clock, and it's gone down from what was about a minute. He is spamming away, and Surreal will have to duck out of there again. I feel like Surreal is basically just Neo at the moment, dodging bullets.
Yeah, and that's from the Matrix, not to be confused with the player for VP.
Either one. I feel like the Polish is pretty good at dodging bullets as well.
Yeah, Henny's going to have to back out and save. Though does run out of time. That's going to allow Complexity to take a second on the board. The standoff there of Ape to delay the push and find the opening 2 frags. Going to be proving testament to once again how they can actually pull these rounds back. It's going to be 15-12. 3 rounds the difference now. Sadly, though, the economy of Immortals is still going to be booming as they have enough to buy up across the board. Double orb set up back in play. And Complexity, well, their economy isn't looking too great. They can, however, field a much stronger buy than they could previously into this round.
Yeah, of course, it is going to be an improvement and maybe enough to string the remaining rounds together. It's already 12 rounds on the board. They need 3 in a row. And he's going to look for this early peak. They have picked up the second orb, this time onto Zeus. Phelps hasn't been so willing to pick it up in this match. Seemed quite confident with it on train, but clearly that is just down to preference. We look over towards the CT side now as some smokes go down. They are going to rotate a couple of players in, and well, this does leave the B site a little bit open at the moment. Still a player there at least, and there is some support from Checkers. And mid, well, mid is completely abandoned. There really isn't any presence there at all. Phelps, well, we can see why he doesn't have an AWP. He's going to go for the entry. The smoke is going to fade, and Surreal will get the first kill.
Yeah, Surreal finding that just helps lock down this A site. You can already see Immortals, they're skeptical about the idea. They've fallen on back in towards mid. Yeah, Bolts is 33 and 13. That's pretty insane. Uber as well, 29 to 18. They're all pulling their weight, but Bolt's going to be going down in mid. Surreal finds him as well. Gets 2 frags in this round. Def taking down Henny in towards A main. Just further cements this round going the way of Complexity. It's all going to be on Zeus And Lucas into this one. They have got the skill and the aim to be able to hold through, potentially make something happen. The issue is they don't really have enough map control. Zeus trying to grab control of A main. One of the complexities noses is going to be slowly making his way through. Lucas taking down Surreal in mid as well. It's going to put a lot more pressure on the guys on that A site, as now they have to watch out for a highway and the push out of A main. Sadly though, as Zeus falls, it's all going to be on Lucas. 1 versus 4. He's going to be up against it.
Yeah, they should still have about enough money to buy into the next one, and I think it'd be quite a comfortable buy actually. But in terms of the CT side, they've done that one quite convincingly. It didn't really look like at any point that they were going to lose that round. Get a nice early frag, and yeah, it will be a convincing buy. But yeah, they're only 2 away now. They're going to get themselves another decent buy on the board. And they're going to look to try and fight this one back to overtime. And this is coming relatively close. It is quite surprising when you look at the scoreboard how far ahead Bolts actually is from the rest of his team.
Yeah, and I mean, Henny being last really isn't helping right now. He's someone who we always speak about as being a defining player for the side of Immortals, and right now he is struggling, only on 16 frags. On the side of Complexity, we're starting to see Surreal fragging a little bit more. He was at a stage where he was at, what, like 5 to something or other crazy as we went into round number 21. Now we're in round number 29. He's been able to pick himself up, what, like 6 frags? He's doubled his score, which is respectable, I suppose, but it's gonna. No, I'm just kidding. He is actually fielding a very good half after having such an abysmal start to the second half.
Leave the UK players alone.
And well, now we're gonna be seeing them trying to make their way out mid on the side of Immortals. 2 players here to start things off, as well as Bolts and Zeus in towards that B site, slowly but surely pushing up, trying to force potentially some sort of split here on towards B.
Surreal looking to go a little bit aggressive here. He is going to find that first frag. I think that's 2 rounds in a row. He's actually got it. Can he get out of here? Yes, he can. So already, though, unfortunately, they've lost Death. Will he grab another? He tries to make defense so close to losing his life and eventually will. But Surreal, he's done his job. It's still got to be for the rest of the team, though, as everybody else has sort of fallen in the meantime. There's 3 players left. 2 of them are on this side, but already it'll be Zeus entering. And there's only 1 player left to defend this. The rotation is trying to come in from the Vents position. Maybe can catch one, and it will be Uber. He's now left to try and save it for his team. He's done very well in this game so far, but they need just a little bit more. 25 seconds left as the bomb goes down, and he has a Molotov. That could actually catch out Zeus. Pushing him out of position. Has to run forward, and that will give Uber the kill. It's down to Henny. 1 versus 1. He hasn't been good so far, and Uber is going to go for the frag, but Henny, he may not have had a particularly good game, but he will do enough to close it.
Yeah, that was incredibly close, and it was a lot closer than I think anyone would have called from the offset. Complexity, they get 13 rounds. They were so close to taking it through.
They were 8-2 up.
Yeah, no, I know. They had a phenomenal first half. It kind of started to fall apart on the CT side, and that does come down to the fact that they were relying really on a power